Hey there, I am Parth Doshi, exploring the field of RPA and sharing my learnings with you by making videos. So, this video is going to be a very interesting and an amazing use case which I found to work using the word activities and the UI automation next activities. So, first, let me tell you what packages you will required to install for making this workflow. So we require two packages that are UiPath.word activities and UiPath.ui automation next.activities. Now these two activities can be installed from manage packages and then going to all packages. Now before starting, let me give you a quick overview of what we'll be doing in this video. So since we are currently facing this COVID situation and we are under lockdown, but still there are nurses, there are some people who are giving the best efforts to keep us safe at our home. So for them, e-passes are being generated as we know for traveling for a monthly pass, you can say, or a 2 months pass or something like that. So this video is particularly on how we will be generating lockdown e-pass, traveling e-pass using UiPath. So if we suppose have a data file, so you can say an Excel file of data where all the details are content of that particular employee or that particular nurse or policeman or anyone. So how we can take that data, build an e-pass, convert it into an PDF and save it in our system so that it can faster the process of generating the lockdown e-pass. So without any delay, let's get started. Now here, first let me show you the template which we are going to use. So this is traveling e-pass template which I've created. So this is the e-pass that we will be generating, which will consist of name, phone number, starting date, ending date of the pass, the area code, the Aadhaar card number. So the person's Aadhaar card number, his employment type, his or her employment type, and then company, bank, hospital, anything can be mentioned over here. So this was the template. Now I have one Excel file here with all the details. As you can see, I'm just using two names for the demo purpose. So we have all these details. So one is a banker who works in HDFC Bank and there is a nurse who works in Sanjeevani Hospital. So here we are going to generate e-pass using the template file which we saw. Now let's get started with building the workflow. I think this video is going to be a bit long, but this is a very interesting use case you will find. So first one, and also you will learn about many different activities. So the first one activity which I have dragged is read range activity of workbook. So if you type read range, it is going to give you this, and I'm going to convert it into a data table that is employee data table. Now let us save this. Now once this is done, what we are going to do is we are going to read each row of our Excel file. So for that we need to drag for each row in employees.data table. Now what we are going to do, we are going to drag a multiple assign. Now why multiple assign? We are basically going to take each of this value, store it in a variable using for each row, and after that we are going to do this particular part using word activities reading, and then okay, this is some another template, traveling e-pass, and after that we are going to use automation activities to type into this field, and then again word activities to convert it into a PDF. Okay, so here we have multiple assign. Now let's see, the first one is name. So first let me create the variables name, then there is second is phone number. So here for the shortcut we can create contact, delete this and create again. Okay, so the contact variable is there. So this is contact. Now the third one is the starting date. So we can just write control K S date. Then we can create one more, that is E date. Now after that I think we have area code and then Aadhaar number. Then we can write A code. Then we can write are the number, the variable. After that, I think we have employment type. So we can just create E type variable. And then one more last is company. So these are the four variables we have created. Now, how will we take this particular value from here? So this is under the column name. So what we are going to do is we are going to write row dot. Okay. So now one thing we need to do is control key row dot. Okay, not control key. Row dot item of. We are going to write over here. Yes. So now to access all these variable, what we have to type is row dot item of. What is our second? So let me just save this and open our Excel file again. Okay, so it is phone number. So let me just copy from here. Copy, paste dot to string. Okay. Now the third one, starting date. So again do row dot item of starting date dot to string. Now the fourth one. So this is how we are accessing the variable's value. Copy row dot item area code dot to string. Then we have Aadhaar card number. This is a very big column name. So this is a better way of doing it rather than typing. I don't know, for some reasons this item and all are not directly coming automatically. The to string as we type to, we automatically get that option over there below. So I have to type that. Not sure why that's happening. But yeah, so we are almost done with it. So no problem. Paste in row dot item. What's the last one? I think it's company. Toast. Okay. So now we have all the variables with us. Now every time we run this particular thing, we need our Word file, the template file, that is Word application scope inside the for loop. Now here I'm going to select my template, that is traveling E-Pass. Once that is done, what we need to do is we need to have our UI automation next activity. that is over here. So now to use any of the UI automation next activity, like in Excel, how we have Excel application scope, here we have user application scope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate this particular application over here. And I'm going to make a very small change in the selector. That is, I'm going to remove this application path. Why? Because I just don't want to open a new Word application every time, but I just want this particular file to open. So once you have done that, it will just open in the selector, as you can see, traveling E-Pass file. So this is one small change you need to do while indicating the browser. Now we are simply going to have our type into activity, and we are going to indicate our first element, that is this area. And then since there are duplicate fields over here, if you see it, let me just confirm, and you will see there are duplicate fields. So I need to indicate an anchor. So I've indicated this particular row as my anchor. And now here I'm going to type is the name. Also, you can see you have options over here of clicking before typing, empty the field and all that. Now let me drag another one, indicating the phone number. And now directly only I'm indicating the anchor because I just showed you why we have to do that. Now we have, where is our phone number? Okay, so we have it as contact. Now the third one, starting date, and its anchor. Now one more thing which I forgot is, when we open this file, the cursor is by default over here. So it will create a problem which I had showed, like why the problem is coming. So I will have to add one keyboard shortcut, that is tab at the start of this. So I'm just going to drag keyboard shortcut, recorder shortcut, click a tab, and that's it, it's done. You can either add manually as well. Add shortcut manually is the option. After that, here I need to give it as date. Here I need to give it as e-date, and let me indicate this. So here you can see the advantage of using UI automation next activities. When we use normal activities, we need to drag an anchor base and we need to define an anchor, and we need to also edit in our UI, open UI Explorer. That is what we do. But here we are able to do it very simply and in very few steps and very few activities. So we have input, sorry. After that, what we have is our Aadhaar card number, indicating the anchor, confirm. So the variable is, I think, Aadhaar number, yes. And also you have an option to standard and secure. So if you have password to type, you can select it as secure, indicating employment type, indicating the anchor, passing your e-type. Let me just see, I didn't mix e-type and e-date. No, it's okay. Now the last one which we have is typing company, bank, and hospital, and this is its anchor. Also you can see type into company. Here also the anchors are getting updated, like we have directly text, so there is no need of renaming it company. So let us just save this and check whether we have done properly for all the fields from the start. One keyboard shortcut we have, then we have type into the name, phone number, starting date, ending date, area code, Aadhaar card number, employment type, and the company. So this was all under UI automation next activities. Let me just collapse this since we are going to add. Now what we need to do is we need to save this particular Word doc. So instead of using hotkeys and all that, we have direct an option, save Word file. The file name is, we are going to keep the employee name. Now, once this file is created, what I need to do is I need to export it to PDF. So let me export it. Here I am also going to pass name PDF. So That's it. We have completely built our workflow, and now let's see whether it is working as per we have expected. If not, I will not edit the part where I'm making the changes of whatever is required or what went wrong, and I will keep that part as well so you come to know what are the mistakes I made. So let's check all the things once again. Read range. For each row, we have assigned the values. Then we have opening the file. Then we have type into activities. After that, we have save word file. So if there is any existing file with that employee, it will update it. So like if we are changing the date or something of a particular, so that particular edits can also be done. If we run this workflow again, it will just replace the file, export PDF. It is okay. So let's close both these files since we can't use them when they are open. Save, and let's run the workflow to see whether it is working as per we have expected or not. Also, the slow step I have kept it is clicked so we can see which steps are being performed. So the Excel file is reading, the values are going. So okay, we have all the multiple assigns properly mentioned, no mistakes in the column names as well. Now our Word file is opened as you can see, and we have passed a tab key over here. So now it should type Ramesh. Okay, till now it's going proper. Okay, so we have the time also timestamp coming over here. Area code is proper. Aadhaar number is proper. Employment type banker. So as you can see, we are easily able to create the complete e-pass, and the time it took me to build the workflow, I think it was maximum 10 to 12 minutes, which I took to build this workflow. Okay, so this is the problem of my Word application. It is saving the file, I suppose. Let's see in UiPath if there are any errors. Okay, this command failed. Let's see why it failed. I think this was because of the non-responding part. Let me just close this. Do we have the file over here? Okay, so that is because I have here duplicate files. In export PDF, we don't have an option to replace the file. Okay, so that particular failed because I have duplicate PDFs created with the same name. So let me just delete all of them by closing them. And let me just delete this. Okay. Okay. Let me save this. Are we having any previous files? No PDFs, and let's run it again. So this failed because in export to PDF, we don't have an option to replace the existing file. That is the reason it failed, because for my previous workflow, I had used the same names. So now let's see over here. It should work fine because we have no errors in data or passing them into the variables. So you can see the format is changed over here. That's the one thing we need to do, because the Word takes the date in other format. So we need to specify that according to the same thing in our Excel file as well. Now I think it has exported to PDF and it is opening for the second one. Now that command should not fail. Okay, it didn't fail. So we have one PDF with us. Now we are doing it for the second one. Okay, tab, Sita, it's right. Phone number is proper. Starting date is proper. Ending date is proper as well. Okay. So the second E-Pass is also created. So this is how we can use technology to put it into real business use cases and build a complete, you can say a workflow, or you can say a robot which can make our task easier. This can be used in companies as well. So if it is a big MNC, there are 500 to 1000 employees and there are only limited people required and you need to generate E-Pass for them. So we can do that. Let's open the PDF and see. Okay, so you can see, as you can see, the E-Pass is created and this can be directly mailed. So one extension you can say can be made to this particular workflow is once this particular, you can say, E-Pass are created, it can be mailed to your employees or to your nurses or managers or anything as such. So I was saying, yeah, in MNCs, this particular robot can be used to process make pass for limited number of people if there are 1000 3000 employees, like that. So let's do a quick recap on what we saw in this video and divide it into the parts. So first was we read the Excel, stored the data into the variables. The second step was we opened our template file every time. The third was we did the type into activities. The fourth step was saving the file in the doc format, in the Word doc format with the name of the employee or the manager or anyone else. And the last step was exporting it as a PDF. In export PDF, we should not have duplicate PDFs already in our that particular folder. Thank you for watching the complete video. I hope you found this particular use case very interesting and I hope you implement this in your company or in your organization. This will be soon available on UiPath Connect as well. So you can just directly download it with all the workflows and dependencies. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. And please do press the bell icon to stay updated to all the new use cases and amazing and interesting content I upload. Thank you.